Hey, stream. Just doing some final audio checks. I was so I just keep waiting for 10 minutes. I was muted. Let me get us up. Let me make this full screen if I remember how to do that. And let me double check that looks like it's meant to look. Hope everyone's doing okay this evening. Yeah, that looks how it's meant to look. Okay, so I think these guys are still muted for now, but we'll unmute them. And then, in fact, I'm going to have to unmute you first so I can keep that screen like that. There we go. It's much easier to stream in games. Same. Okay, we're ready to go. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk episode 3. Tonight, I'm joined by Strudel, you can see on screen, and Rambo, who didn't want to share his face with us today. But for those of you that need an introduction to these streams and the podcast, Let's Talk is a bi-weekly stream that is dedicated to our community where we bring in guests to get to know them a little bit more. And then we're going to discuss a topic that we feel may be beneficial to the community or just something that we want to discuss that given week. So tonight, as always, we're going to be starting with getting to know more about our two guests before moving on to that discussion. And the discussion tonight is how great raid teams form. I know a lot of you are interested in that discussion. I think we have brought along two great people for that conversation. Both for these people, so Rambo was our part of our first team that we made after ourselves, and Strudel was the third team, so it should be very interesting. And after we're done discussing that, we're going to be moving on to a Q&A where we will take in questions from chat and from the private supporter chat as well. I've had a look at the questions in the private supporter chat, and there's some very good ones. So I can see that going on for... Yeah, we've got loads to go through. It's going to be a fun night, guys. Thank you for joining us. And this podcast will get uploaded, the stream rather, will get uploaded as a podcast tomorrow. So if you are listening to that and you're wondering who we are, just search GCROCK on YouTube and Discord and you'll find us. So let's start. And we're going to start by saying hello to Strudel and Rambo.
What up?
Hello guys. Quickly got to check the sound levels again. And we'll start with Strudel. In these podcasts, in these Let's Talk, we go through your story, your community story. We want to know everything about you, Strudel. How did you find us? How did you get to... You're community head admin. How did you get there? Just tell us your story, Strudel.
So I found the community via one of G's videos, pretty much just like everybody else. It was back in the day before they made it easy for the what's the exotic SMG. You had to go around, get the keys, and then open all the boxes.
Oh, Chatterbox.
Chatterbox. Yeah. So I didn't know where all the boxes were, right? And I wanted to make my Chatterbox, so had all my keys from the underground. Like, you had to go down into the sewers and grab all the keys from the boxes in the sewers, and you had to do that like once a day and then go around. And so I found G through a video showing me where all the boxes were. Joined the community shortly after that, and then probably a month or so after Dark Hours came out, I answered the call for Penny and got my FTC with you guys. So after that, like G said, I was raid team 3, and we were kind of an experiment a little bit. A lot of UK and American mishmash, right? So there's a lot of learning curve. Yeah, a lot of learning curves, a lot of work went behind it, and but we made it happen. We made it work with a lot of thanks to Rambo and his team in helping us out with the UK timelines and time zones and stuff. But we started smashing out Dark Hours very quickly and helping people and doing all that stuff, and I guess. And then just kind of going through the ranks there. I when I actually did my FTC, I wasn't part of TSW. I had my own little clan with a few buddies and transferred that over into a TSW clan, which is now TSW Raiders on PlayStation. Okay.
Anybody still with us?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think I'm the last one. I think I'm the last one. Yeah.
He poached
Yeah.
you.
I guess that's it. Yeah, and now I'm on to Destiny. I came, but we raided straight through Iron Horse. I think once we got to Iron Horse, there was a lot of burnout, from raiding for us. So we didn't stick around for Iron Horse very much. I moved on to Destiny with a few others from the team, and I've been raiding on Destiny now and doing raids over there.
Just
Made
come
a
a
raid team
long
on there,
way.
and
Just want to got in
we're
there. Like
doing
you've done great work with Destiny.
yeah. So we're doing a lot of Destiny, trying to grow it, as you know, and
Mm.
looking forward to seeing what's going on with the division at the end of the year or beginning of next year, whenever they decide that, and we'll be back. But yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
I guess I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I have first noticed you obviously when when we made that third team. We were in conversation a lot back then. I started, I think it was without you originally, and then there was something went on, and then I
No, I
made you
was
the
part of the team.
leader
I
of
was
it.
part
You're
of the
part of the
team.
team, but you
I
weren't
was
like
part of the
leading.
team.
And
Yeah,
then in the
I wasn't the
end,
leader. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, "Can you lead this?" We had good conversation. We trialed and errored a lot, and we learned a lot through that phase. Like you said, there's a lot of trial and error. It was good. It was good because Rambo's team, who we'll get onto in a minute, he was the second team that Penny just sort of like put together through FTCs we took through that we just thought were absolutely fucking awesome. Your team, it was a team that was already kind of formed and doing it that I'd never really played with, and it was completely different with your team, but it was great what came of it, which we'll get onto later. And then we became a head admin as well. I think it's because that communication we had through that phase and how much support you gave to what we were building there, which is shown you know your capabilities for the role you have. And when we needed some new admins, it was you were one of the first names on the lips. Yourself, Knight. I think it's 50 pence at the time as well. There's a few of you.
Radders.
Yeah, Radders. Yeah, it was a good time. And
Now
you're
I'm
still
just,
here
now
now
I'm just a
somehow.
troublemaking admin. Now I'm just a troublemaking admin. I just go in the chat to make trouble.
Your most common phrase
like that.
used? Agreed.
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 Oh boy.
Oh boy, there is a lot of this. There is a lot.
Oh boy.
Oh boy,
Lots
his
of
favourite
Doc.
term.
Oh boy.
Lots of Doc references
Yeah,
nowadays too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that's
Now that
Strudel,
I'm
guys.
not the only Doc. Not that now that I know I'm not the only Doc fan. I'm much more open with my Doc references.
Oh,
Beat
yeah.
5 times back to back.
Love it. Huge, yeah.
Back to
I was
back,
happy when
baby.
you found out you were a Doc fan because I'm a Doc fan, and like my best mate who I talked to, Raddy, he absolutely hates him. So it's like can't really talk about him much. Just bores him to death. Whereas me and you is really good. I liked it.
Myself,
So chat, and if you want to like think of any questions for Strudel or for the Q&A at the end, save them for a bit later. Otherwise, I won't be able to see them. But for now, we're going to move on to Rambo. Rambo is our second guest tonight. So Rambo, as I've already said, I don't want to give your story away. I want you to go, bro. So give us your story. Same as Strudel. You know, how did you find us? What is your community story with us?
my story. I was headhunted because I was an OG. No, I'm joking. I think like most other people, I came across your channel on YouTube, like playing with some friends. I think we were looking for the hunter masks in DC, like not after the game launched. So we used your videos to help us do that. At which point, I think I subscribed to your channel. And then when Dark Hours came out and you guys started doing carries, I signed up to the Discord to get help. So I wanted to get involved with the raid. Looked good fun. I wanted to get in there. I think I was in the first week that you did carries in. And
Really?
I think off the back of that, I jumped in with you, 3 or 4 more times over the next couple of weeks. I was in chat a lot. And if you needed someone, I jumped in with you a couple of times. And then, as you said before, like Penny pulled together, I think, 5 of us. 5 or 6 you'd taken through.
5 or 6 of you, yeah.
Put together a team, and then we buffed out other people that we knew to get to, I think there was like 8 or 9, I think there was 9 of us at the start actually, so we had like a sub. And we put our time in then, practicing, getting it tied down pretty quickly. And started, knocking out streams like twice a week. I think we had Tuesday reset. No, back then it was Thursday recently, so we did Tuesday FTCs and Thursday Eagle Bear runs for our team.
Mm.
Then once everyone on our team had it, we started opening up Thursdays to community Eagle Bear runs as well. Because reset was Thursday back in the days, back in the early hours, you know, and that was kind of it really. Like, and I think for me, those early days of raid team are still some of my best times in TSW.
Totally.
Like the Friday nights, just, you know, not to be good for YouTube, basically, you know, getting hammered and just raiding until God knows what time in the morning. Just like, I think with Penny, I played with Penny a lot, to be fair, and a lot of the other guys. We had like, so most of the raid team were put together in your clan back then, like all in one place, and we'd sort of, you know, we'd jump in the evenings and just dick around, have a laugh, and you know, we got better and improved our times, got down to like, you know, sub 30, sub 20 as it started to improve, you know, new strats came in. Yeah, but my team, developed quite quickly. You know, so Penny gave our team together, most of our team, and we kind of clicked pretty much straight away, really. There was no dodgy personalities or egos there that stood in the way of what we were trying to do. And it worked pretty well. Went from there, I think similar to Strudel, like we spent that first like 6-7 months through to the end of that year, we were hammering out raids left, right, and centre. And then our team sort of dissipated. I replaced a few people, like Knight joined us, like Simba joined us. We carried on for a while, then we went quiet for a while until Iron Horse came out. We did we did like quite a bit of teamwork then. We spent a couple of weeks like banging it out, getting used to it, learning stuff. But it didn't really grip us in the same way. Not everyone was as engaged with it. And the interest from there, there's probably a bit of burnout from constant raiding. And it didn't provide the same level of enjoyment for us as Dark Hours did. So we decided at that point not to do community runs and that with it, really. I mean, later on, I conjured a few other friends, did a few bits here and there, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy it on horse. I don't know, it's just not the same for me. I think in a way I kind of moved on a bit from it. I had my time with Dark Hours and with the raid team, and it was great fun for a while. But you know, with a lot of these things, you do it continuously all the time, and as Shura says, you burn out and you want to do something a bit different. And we had like a good solid run of it, and it was great fun for a while, you know.
Definitely.
Probably, I guess. And then
raid burnout's a thing, you know. Raid burnout's a thing, and I think a lot of people suffer that. And some teams don't really come back from it as well, and that's kind of like your team, really, isn't it? Because do you remember who your original team was?
Yeah, so there was me, Digital Trinkets, CK, Tony Yayo, if you remember him.
Yayo.
Fucking OG himself, the crazy Dutch man.
I miss that guy. Oh, he was so good.
We had a Sick Maid. We had Zombie Nut. Then we had a Rocket Smith and Lone Wanderer, who was initially the raid leader, but it became quite apparent quickly that he wasn't really there for it, so I took over pretty much straight away.
Yeah, he was initially the leader, wasn't he? And then
he struggled a bit with us, I think. I think we may be a bit too strong for him.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the banter quite as much.
But, we'll get onto it soon in the discussion, but it's it's interesting, like with the burnout. Like, well, I'll ask you now, what did you move on to? So from raids, what have you been doing since?
Well, kind of everything really. I've been playing quite a bit of Fortnite. I got back onto Gran Turismo, doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
We've got the group that I play with. We had like once a week. We're doing like Gran Turismo night, race night. It was always a good laugh. Getting guys together on a Friday night, 6 or 7 of us, just private lobbies racing. That was hilarious fun for a while. And I'm a Destiny sweat now, as CK will have testified to, and Strudel. I've kind of the last 6 weeks or so. I kind of joined towards the end of the season, so I missed quite a bit of it. But I've been hammering that pretty hard since I got into it. So I tried it about 4 or 5 months ago and couldn't really get into it. Didn't really click. But this time it did. And I'm converted. It took me a while to get used to the first person on it. It's a bit different to Division, but the gunplay on it is so good. Once you get used to the first person, it's so slick. You can't really not enjoy it, to be honest. It's just...
CK is someone you met through your raid team as well, yeah?
Yeah, CK was probably, from that first raid team. I mean, of the guys in the original raid team, like Digital Trinkets was a guy I knew in real life, one of my mates. But everyone else was someone that I got thrown together with through Penny. But CK is the one that I still remain good friends with to this day, and I still play with him every day. I'm in chat with him every day. We game together, we speak a lot. He's like a little brother I never had, really. Yeah, it's made a really good friend. Like, there's a few others, like Night Violator, someone that joined our team, I don't know, 3 or 4 months in after Dark Hours. People started to drop out. I had to replace a few. So Night was one of the guys that I think I raided with a couple of times. I think he was part of the wider raid team. We didn't really have a regular team to run with. And he subbed in for us a few times, and it was working well. So he joined us on a permanent basis. And although I don't game with him, I think he's more on Xbox a lot these days. I think I don't really see him as much.
Loves
We
his
still chat.
Xbox.
We still like WhatsApp each other, a fair bit. We keep in contact. He's a good mate as well. Knight. He's sound as they come.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's someone that I've got a lot of time for. That I think that's something that there's a lot of like, I guess, mutual respect there, really, and we'll chat about anything, and we can do, and so yeah, it's just formed a friendship out of that.
Good to hear. Formed friendships from that raid team, and we'll get onto that later. Anything else you want to add, Rambo?
Not in terms of my story, I don't think. No, that's probably it.
Well, there's something I want to
chat shit all day.
I know, definitely. So
I had a bottle of wine as well, so it doesn't really help.
So before we move on, there's something we were meant to do last week. I completely forgot. I say last week, 2 weeks ago, and I think someone mentioned it. Wouldn't it be cool to have a look back at your very first posts in the community? Strudel, do you remember what your first post was?
No, not at all. Probably looking for someone to raid with, or someone to do something. Probably. Oh God, it's not Kenley College, is it?
Nah.
You
joined. Welcome, iHeartStrudel. Say hi on the 23rd of May 2019. You've been with us for like over 2 years. Insane, a long time. And your first message was on the same day. Just at Kedri AD, well, at Kedri, whatever his handle was back then. Thanks. He must have been the one that welcomed you. So that was your first post in our community when you joined us. Solid. So we're going to do this all the time. Because I'm imagining yours was quite boring, just thanks. But it's interesting to see when you joined us, how long you've been with us, and what your first post was. I reckon we can get some good, embarrassing ones, maybe. I don't know. We'll try.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and find Rambo's first post now. Do you remember what it was, Rambo?
It would have been mid to late June, I think, 19 as well.
31st of May 19. Same month.
Oh, I got him beat.
You did.
Yes. That's why you're my wife. I got you beat.
What? Fuck you.
Do you have any idea what your first message was, Rambo?
Probably something similar, just like, hi all. Something bullshit like that, I'd imagine.
Rambo Stewie, 31st of the same day. New member, just saying hi all. Look forward to joining some of you in game.
There you go.
Solid.
Your very first message.
Sound.
And then it all started from there.
It didn't take long.
I like that. We're going to do that every 2 weeks. So people to jump into these Let's Talk, be prepared. Don't be going back editing your messages.
Yeah. That was a painful goes on boomer for a little while.
Yeah.
So the topic of discussion for this Let's Talk is how great raid teams form. So we'll move on to that, yeah? I think the reason why I wanted to talk about this stream, it was recommended by Night Violator when I asked in the admin chat the other, I think it was last week, I was asking for conversations that they think would be good. Night Violator suggested this, and I thought it was brilliant.
As well.
What was that?
So smart that night.
So Night also told what my answer should be as well.
He is so smart, and it's a great conversation because it's something from day one that the community, I won't say struggled with, but a lot of people do struggle with it. A lot of people want to be in raid teams. They don't know how to get in raid teams. They see us stream it day in, day out, and they want to do it, So, how do great raid teams form? How do people get into these teams and stream them daily and get these bonds like both of you have with friends that you've created from it? How do that? So we'll start with Strudel. In your opinion and in your experience, how do great raid teams form, and how do they continue, or what happens?
With the way they form, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Like, it's not, we've all had bad LFG experiences, right? And whether it's in our Discord or in some other area or in-game LFGs or whatever, everyone's had bad LFGs. And when you're trying to form a raid team, you want to avoid that at all costs, right? You need the team to work together. You need the team to be synergistic. You need communication to be on point, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Everyone's builds needs to be, gelling with one another. And I think that's the first hurdle, at least what I see with our Discord, is TSWs being one clan, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're in Raiders or you're in Odin's Renegade. I guess that's Xbox, so I guess it does matter in that case. But let me. So I guess it does matter in that case, right?
It definitely
But
matters.
it
It's
doesn't
not
matter if you're in,
crossplay. We're not Destiny, Strudel.
yeah. I guess it does matter. But it's like Ghosts, Poultry Department, whatever, Phoenix Risen, whatever. It doesn't matter which one you're in. You can link up with, hundreds of people within our thing. So I think a lot of people get focused on, I am in Phoenix Risen and those are the 50 people that I can. No, 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 no. So getting past that first, I think, is very important, that I have a whole Discord of people to interact with. Um, Getting out there, putting yourself out there. I mean, I switched over to Xbox. Oh, I don't even know when, but I started doing Xbox raids and forming a team over
Traitor.
there, and yeah, and I was just meeting people in the LFG and be like, "Hey, you want to raid?" And some people worked out, some people they didn't. It wasn't about that. And you got to get out there. You have to put yourself out there. You have to get out there because it's the only way you're going to meet people, right? First step is meeting people that with like-minded. I want to raid. I want to raid regularly. We have somewhat of the same schedules. We can make something work. All of these things are so important to making that thing cohesive, right? And then finding your 8 or your 9 or whatever it might be, putting them in a chat and saying, okay, when can everybody run? When can everybody, be there and be ready? And then once you get in there, there's going to be fails, right? People, I think, also get hung up on the fails. There is going to be fails, and there's going to be a lot of them. Whether it's Boss 3 on Iron Horse or Boomer on Dark Hours, there's going to be trials and tribulations. Same with Destiny. There's whether it's I mean, for instance, when Vaulted Glass came out, we were on the first boss for 4 hours. We didn't know what we were doing. None of us looked up guides. None of us did any of that. We wanted to go in there fresh. We were on the first boss for 4 hours. It's a lot of wiping. A lot of wiping. It's going to happen, so don't let that get you down. But then once you say, okay, that's enough for today, go out and build each other up. Okay, you need levels, or you need this gear, you need that gear. Being a raid team is much more than just getting on at Tuesdays at 9 o'clock and raiding together, right? You got to get out there. You got to build each other up. You got to help each other farm for builds. Whatever it might take. You got to play together outside of raiding as well, because that's how those friendships form, and that's how that trust, that communication, knowing their play style. I mean, you can ask TJ, Jump, Jetty, anybody that I run with one shot on a regular basis on Division. I don't have a care in the world for my life in Division. I just run into groups of enemies and just go for it. But like, they
You're
know
more
I do
Rambo
that.
than
They
Rambo.
know. Yeah, there's no cover system in Division. It's really, so it's not a cover based shooter. So you just run in there and kill things, right? So that's what I do. And when I'm not playing with like the core group of people that I die so much. But when I'm with them, they know that that's what I do, and they can cover me the whole time. And we just breeze through content. You get that person just going out there and running through things and popping enemies out of cover, and they're killing them as they pop out. That's huge, but you have to play together to get that synergy, that synergistic feeling between everybody. Know each other's play styles, know each other's do's and don'ts and what they're good at. Jump's our shield guy. He's always been our shield guy, and he will continue to be our shield guy because he is amazing with a shield.
Mhm.
That we know that, and he knows it and he accepts it, and we make fun, we poke fun at each other for it all the time. But it's more than just raiding together, and that will then go on to holding the team together later on, right?
Mhm.
We just did a pickup raid today with the original crew, just because we felt like it. I don't think any of us have played, maybe except for TJ and One Shot. I don't think most of us have played Division in a long time, and we just went in there and did it, and it's like, who wants to run on Sunday? Let's do it. Let's get together, and that's huge.
Yeah, I miss some of your guys like Jump Teddy. How's Raider doing these days? Is he still around?
He retired from
Love
gaming.
Raider.
Raider just retired from gaming. He's off doing
Really?
cool things, getting out there in the real world. Like it's great. Doing a lot of hiking and
The
stuff
real
like
world.
that. Like
Wow.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's cool. We're all Facebook friends and whatnot, and we actually do a Christmas, like a friend, not a friend's giving, but a friend's Christmas, where we all got into a lobby on the Discord, and we started up a video chat. We did that this year, and he was there, and that was great. It's good.
Excellent.
Great. I've got stuff to add to that, but first, Rambo, same question. How great raid teams form from your
Well,
experience? What have you got to say?
yeah, for me, it's so different to Strudel that I don't have the patience of a saint that he does. So, my team was largely put together by Penny, and we filled it out with people that we knew. So I didn't necessarily go through the pain of the constant LFGing that he did. But obviously, once our group was pulled together, none of us knew each other. So we had to work hard as a group to get the dark hours tied down. But for me, I think ultimately what makes a good rating, I think you need personalities. You can't have people like shying away in a corner, being quiet, just get on with the job. You need people to be vocal and share ideas and stuff. And I think but you also can't afford to have egos. If someone comes in like trying to throw their weight around, thinking they know best for everything, they're very soon going to fall out with everyone else, and it's not going to go well, and they're going to find themselves kicked pretty fucking swiftly. And anyone that knows me, I mean, yeah, I've probably got ego when it comes to a lot of stuff, but in game, I know that I'm a decent player. I'm not the strongest player, but I don't need to be, because as a raid, speaking as a raid leader, as opposed to what makes the raid leader is being able to look at your team and identify the strengths and weaknesses of the players and utilizing them. And I largely fit in around the other guys, knowing that I was one of the weakest players in terms of like DPS and killing shit. It's like, how do I support this team to make this team the best they can be? So I played tank, I played drone killer, I did everything that I needed to. And the thing that really hits home for me that Strudel said was it's the playing together outside of raiding as well. Like when you need builds, it's the constant farming. Like most of my team were running together most days, farming missions, doing second and third characters to take through the raids each week. So we had multiple shots at eagle bearers and keys, and that for everyone. We're taking through for FTCs and what have you. So it was not just about, as you said, not just about jumping in once, twice a week to do a raid together. It's about playing together regularly, really getting to know each other, not just as gamers, but as people, because ultimately, the amount of time we spend online, these people become your friends. You don't really get away from that. That's what it is. And I think that's it. Like I think you need good personalities, and you can't afford egos. I think for me, they're the two key things. If you can have a good raid team, that's two key things for me. And like obviously when it came to dark hours, my team had all been taken through by you. They definitely had 1 or 2 completions each amongst them. But we got on fairly quickly and worked shit out ourselves at what worked best. We made some tweaks and that and what have you. We got it all sorted. But obviously, ultimately, we knew what we were doing from the start. Whereas Iron Horse is a very different race. We had to learn that ourselves. We kicked off on launch day, the same as you did, both your teams did, and I think ultimately it took us, I don't know, somewhere between 16 to 20 hours for that first completion in week 1. Yep. We were running only 2 or 3 hours a day, really, but we were clearing one boss, then learn the next one, come back the next day and clearing that boss. Like it was learn it, work out what the mechanics are, work out what everyone's best role is, sleep on it, come back and knock it out, move on to the next one, learn that one, sleep on it, come back, knock it out. And that's how that first week on Iron Horse progressed for us. But ultimately there it was a mixture of ideas. Like we were lucky to have a lot of strong players. Like I don't think it's unfair to say that Iron Horse, the strongest people were probably, in terms of work stuff out, I think I played a fairly strong part. I think Sick made, although it was very quiet, it took a long time to get used to him. He had a very dry sense of humour, but a very clever guy, and he figured a lot of stuff out on Iron Horse. And CK was there. But I think everyone contributed, but I think for me, Sick one of our strongest.
Other teams helped each other though. Like you mentioned, just to quickly mention this in case I forget. Like I know
me and Strudel were chatting a lot. Like that first week of Iron Horse, we were sharing stuff.
Teams helped each other. I had a whole document out on day 3 for everybody.
Yeah.
We
by that time, like we all started on day 1, and then we'd take a break or whatever, and it was constant chat, whether it was through DMs or in the was it TCT by then, but in the TCT chat, just like, hey, what'd you do here? How'd you cover this? You had that document out, which was great.
But you still had to do it. It's you know what I mean. You still had to do it. That was just what we found. We're the first team to do it. That's what we found. Good luck.
Everyone as well. Like Osprey was that killer.
Exactly. And for some, for us, we had already cleared a few bosses. You know what I mean? Like we did it. We went into Iron Horse and we were at boss 3, and Sifter was our lone UK guy. So we got up. I mean, some of our team were up at 1 a.m. I was up at 3 a.m. ready to go so Sifter could be a part of the team, and we went all day. We went 16 hours to completion on the Saturday after the Thursday. So Saturday we went 16 hours. And, then we got to the last boss and someone had to drop and Swag came in and, it was just, having that synergist. He had been watching videos because he was at work or whatever all day. He'd been watching videos. He's like, oh, if you do it this way, and here, I'll play tank because I saw that role. And it was just a lot of people coming together for everyone's success, and that's what's huge.
I look at that and think how we completed it in those first couple of weeks, how I run it now, if I ever run it, and how very different it is and how much simpler it is these days.
Totally.
The builds have changed massively to how we did it week 1. Yeah, very, very different.
The builds that Raid gave you.
It takes a long time to go from, okay, I got my first completion to how do we optimize this? What are the best builds to run?
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that's the good thing about a team. Like I say, some of you guys imagine, all my team were in a DM chat together, and that it's constant messages all day, every day, just like, oh, I've seen this, I've got this idea, I want to farm for this stuff, who can jump in? And everyone just piled in, and it, as I said before, and I was really said, it's about just helping each other. Like we were gaming together all day, every day. It wasn't just raiding; it was everything else. Raiding was a very small part of what we actually did together as a raid team.
Yeah,
and I think that's what makes a strong team, because it's only through doing that you really get to learn what each other's strengths are. It's not how we in the raid; it's what you see in missions and in control points and that, and it's that really helps you understand. Like if I see Knight charged off into a corner, I know he's going to fucking go down because he's a liability. But it's knowing who you can trust to do what. And I'm pulling his leg if he's listening. I hope he is. He get a laugh out of that. But that's what it is. It's knowing when someone needs backup. But that doesn't come just from doing a couple of raids a week each.
No.
That comes from really getting to know each other and how each other plays the game. Yeah. And Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really.
I think you guys covered it very, very well. So, like, my perspective of starting raids was completely different in the way it was all revolved around content. I want to be the first to do it. I need to get content out. I want to share with people how to do it. But it's the same premise. You know, you need good people around you. What people need to understand is it's a team. Like in anything, in your job, anything, it's a team, and it's not you can't just get 8 people together and say we're going to be a raid team. That's not how it works. Like we can't matchmake you, you know. Like I did a trial like a while ago, and I just asked in the LFG, I want to make a raid team. I need 7, 8 people, whatever it was. I think it was 8, and I took them in. But the requirements were, you know, you got to be willing to give time to this. You know, I'm not just going to put you all together and say you're a team. Yeah, and
you got to dedicate time to it.
Yeah, you do.
As I say, it's not about jumping in like twice a week for a couple of hours to do a raid. It's about really committing some time and effort to it.
So this team we put together, we spent a lot of time with them learning them strategies. I had all the build videos ready. I had all the strategy videos ready. A few of them I've had 1 completion, if that, maybe 2. But it was a carry both time. They weren't, you know, they were being helped. And they spent a lot of time watching those videos, working together to put those builds together, getting to know each other, and that's the biggest part. You know, you got to spend a lot of time with these people. If you don't get on with them, it isn't going to work. You become friends. And if you don't, you know, that's what happens. You form bonds, you form friendships. So much that goes on outside of just raiding every Tuesday or every day.
Some people that's harder than it is for others. I mean, like I think I'm fairly much an open book where people like know what they get with me because I'll tell you. Whereas like some people, like I said, like 6 took a while to get used to us. I think obviously for Tony, a Dutch guy coming to a group of all English guys, took him a while to open up to us. Once he did, like it's all good. And I think, that's it. It's really getting used to each other, and that's only comes from time. I think. Because ultimately for me, if you want to do this regularly, it's about having fun. It can't become like a job. Since it starts feeling like a job, and that's when it's out the window and it's gone. It's got to be fun and enjoyable because gaming is a pastime. It's a relaxation thing. It's entertainment. So first and foremost, it has to be fun. And if it's not, then you're wasting your time. If you're coming there saying, "Oh, I have to do a job. I'm going to be a rating. Like this is my job," then you might as well naff off. As far as I'm concerned, it's not about that. It's about doing something that you enjoy and helping people along.
Yeah, but some people enjoy it being like that as well, though. So, like, some people like the fact they got a purpose.
That's my point of view.
Yeah. If you enjoy it, it doesn't matter why you enjoy it. If you're enjoying it, that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if someone sees it as a job to the community and they love it, well, that's good. You know. But yeah, you got to be enjoying it.
If you love that part of it, then I guess that's fine.
You know,
as long as you are taking, as long as you're not turning up saying, "I have to do this today because this is my designated night."
No, exactly. You shouldn't be waking up dreading to raid that night. Like, I can't be arsed tonight. Why do I have to do this? No, it's not what it's about. And if you are doing that, you need to take a break. For sure. Like, you know, like you shouldn't be raiding if you don't want to. But yeah, it's got to be fun, 100%. But there's a lot that goes into it. And I don't think people understand that sometimes in the community. They just think these teams form overnight. They want these teams, but you don't want to put the effort to get them. There's so much effort that goes in.
People want stuff given to them on a plate, and that's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Think about like in the run up to Iron Horse, a lot of my guys, we wanted to get all our watch levels to 1,000. So our watches were maxed out going into that Iron Horse raid. So we had all our max stats. So the grind we put in the run up to Iron Horse, 10 hours a day, just grinding that control point stuff just to hit our watch levels, just for watch levels, just to get those extra stats on our builds, so we were as strong as possible going into that raid. That's dedication. That's not like a simple thing. That's, as you say, like it's putting time in, and so much more of that effort comes in outside of the raid than it does actually in the raid itself.
Yeah, it's putting a lot of time in, and you've really got to form a bond with that team. You know, like you've got to be with the right people. It's not as simple as us just saying, you know, play with these people. I know we kind of do it. We do matchmake people, but then there's a lot of work that goes on then for them to form those bonds, and a lot of subs and changes around in teams as well. Like the original team you started with ain't the team that you had at the end. Strudel's original 7-8 he started with wasn't the same team at the end. My original 8 definitely isn't the same team now. I've got a huge team. You know, and I based my team on, I stopped raiding because I was hating it. Like you said, it's got to be fun. If you're not having fun, you can't be doing it. So I stopped raiding for a long time. And then when I came back, none of my team was raiding. So the team that I originally completed Dark Hours with and did the guides with, they weren't there. And then the Iron Horse team weren't there. No one was playing the game.
Mackie and Bush Dog. Fucking hell.
Yeah, no. So no one was playing the game.
Still remember the king.
I know. And I had to rely on other teams, and what I realized then was like I was doing Iron Horses, and like it was taking 3 hours sometimes, and I was running with people that run this all the time. It was a mismatch of teams. I would just post in our raid team, get people in, and you, again, even if you're experienced at doing the raids, you know, it's not. Yeah, like you have your own strategy, you have your own ways of doing things, and when you mix all that up and everybody's doing their own thing, it's impossible. I was sitting there doing.
You find out someone might have 100 clears, but actually there are 100 carries, and actually they've been carried by teammates.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's 100 clears, but 100 clears of how you do it. It's then like I've you know, no one's been carried 100 times. I disagree with that. But there's people that do 100. You know, if you do 100 clears, and you know, you might just do the same thing all the time. There's a lot of that for sure, because like you've already said, Rambo, you know, you find the weaknesses and the strengths in your team and you play to them. So when you're playing with your team all the time, you could do that 1,000 times. You jump into another team and get, I want you to do this instead. Oh, I've never done that. And that's what happens. So that's what happens. And it's hard. So you can't make a team from, like, even when there's loads of experienced people, you can't just pick 8 people, come together and make it work. You've still got to spend the time to form, to strategize, to work together, to figure out what, you know, you're doing in your 8s. It doesn't matter what you've already known. And I've spent a lot of time doing that in the last 6 months. I built PC team, Xbox team, PlayStation team. We've struggled. I've had to let people go. I've said no to some people. What I look for, this is a question for later, but what I look for, you know, in a team, they've got to be able to communicate and they've got to be able to work together. And yes, have ideas, but at the end of the day, you've got to all be on the same page as well.
Yeah, the worst thing is someone who doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Like I don't really LFG, but I've done it occasionally. You get to a boss and you go, right, who's going to want to run tank? And you get silence. It's like, great.
Cool, good talk.
I guess that's me then. It's like.
I will say though, G, if you ask anybody from my team, I'm pretty sure they would say I've been carried.
You've ran with me plenty of times, Strudel. You are not a carry. Not in the slightest.
I don't know. Jump and Sifter in chat right now. I think they disagree.
They would. Anything else you guys want to add then at all?
No, nothing springs. I think we covered a lot of it, really.
Yeah.
As I said, like personalities, no egos, and just dedication. Like, you just got to put the time, and you can't expect to be given something and like just do it. You know, you've got to be willing to put the effort in if it's what you want to do.
Yeah, you know? Definitely. So to conclude, raid teams they're not something you could just create within moments in the Discord, guys. You've got to meet people, you got to communicate, you got to get to know people. The best thing you can do is set out your intentions, see if anyone else has the same intentions. If you can find 8 people that all want to form a raid team and you all get on, watch videos, watch guides, decide as an 8 what strats you're going to take, what builds you're going to make, learn them together, trial and error, see what works for you as an 8. And then you do need a leader. Like, it can be multiple leaders. It can be, you know, you need someone in there that's the vocal point that during that raid makes calls, and that really helps as well. And that person, you know, we I always think it's not. Some teams have like multiple leaders. There's a lot of discussion going on, and it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I think it works very good if you can just single someone out to say, yeah, okay, this what when there's a debate. Because what happens is sometimes there's you have a debate or you have a difference of opinion. You just need that one person to say, okay, I get what you're both saying, but we're doing this, and that's why it's important. But yeah, a lot goes into it. You need to work super hard and you got to enjoy it. If you're not enjoying the game right now, I wouldn't be thinking about making a raid team, especially if you're at 0 clears. Like, there's a lot of work ahead of you, but you make friends from it, and that's the other side of it. Like, Rambo doesn't even do raids anymore, yet he still plays with people and make some good relationships with people from that
I
team.
kind of started towards the back end of last year, like November, December, for like, I don't know, 5-6 weeks. I ran again on Friday night, so I put sort of a new team together. There's a couple of people like CK and Knight were in there, and there's a bunch of new other people that I'd met. And we ran Friday night, dark hours for a while, helping people out again. And most of those, the group of people I still play with now, and like we have our own PSN chat that everyone jumps in and out of all day. People are playing different games.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of us are playing together, but largely we're just in there as a group together, socialising. We're all friends. We know each other. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know how to say this. It's about getting on with people in there and not being a dick.
No, definitely. Got to get on with one another. Imagine raiding every day with people you didn't like. It's not going to work. And we're all human.
You won't hang around.
Yeah, exactly. You're a group of friends. That's what you're forming. That's what's got to happen, especially if you want to do it to the extent some of our raid teams do. They go every day, some of them. They're like best friends. So we'll move on to the Q&A then, because a lot of the questions is about raids. So are we ready to move on to that? Are you guys happy to move on now?
Do it.
Yeah, so chat, if you're watching this on live stream, the last message there I can see from Why Not Beast, Haymax, Crazy Tetris. Anything after that I'll look at. Post your questions. We're going to start with some supporter priority questions rather. We got some posted earlier. We've already had a look over these. There's some very good ones. There's loads. Where do we start? We'll keep it raid specific for now. There's a few like, it doesn't have to be about raids. You can ask whatever you want. Like, we got guests in tonight. You got Strudel, you got Rambo. If you want to ask them something, or whatever, anything you want. Well, Herbie asked quite a few good questions because he's setting up a new raid team as we speak, and Herbie said this would be a very interesting talk for him. So, what Herbie said, he's asked a few. We'll start with this. Of a casual question. Which raid is your favourite and why? So he's on about the division. Strudel.
Dark hours. 100%.
Why?
100%. It's the OG, right? I mean, I don't know. It's to me, back in that day, it was a DPS check. It was huge DPS heavy. There wasn't a lot of there's mechanics, but it's not as mechanic heavy as say Boss 3 on Iron Horse, right? And for kind of like what Rambo said earlier, it was the raid that brought us all together, right? It's a good pastime, and it just, when we got to Iron Horse, it just didn't have that same feel. There's, I'm not going to mention it, but there's a few mechanics that I do not believe are intended. I still to this day do not believe are intended in Iron Horse that still happen.
Like what? The
mortars
mortars in the tunnel
on Morozova. Yeah, I don't think that's intended.
No,
that's not. That can't be intended. That's your only safe. Now, obviously, you and the many teams together have done a great job in prioritizing how do we survive through that. It's huge, right? But I do not think that's intended.
It's not intended.
There's no way, and there was never a fix to it, right? And back when we first started raiding, that would wipe us. I can't even tell you before yourself and whoever figured, the overcharge and all that, right? Before that would wipe teams over and over and over again. And that was a little crushing for us. I think, it's like, there's no way this is intended and it's happening. Or for instance, the lava not filling up, that's a triumph or whatever you want to call it, in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
letting all 4 quadrants on the second boss fill up, and it's bugged. It's not, you can't see them. So like you figured out again, how long it takes for them to fill up, and you do it that way. It's great, right? But you shouldn't have to do that.
12 hours, Strudel. 12 hours.
Yeah, 12 hours to
that
figure
out.
that out. That's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to deal with that. That's just something that should have been fixed long ago. That just never was fixed. And I think that was a little, so we just gravitated back to Dark Hours because that's what we knew, and it was fun, and we all enjoy it. And there was changes that had to adapt. We never ever had a drone build back in the start of this thing, right? Never.
No, it wasn't a thing, was
Ever
it,
had
year
a
one?
Yep. You never ever had a healer on Weasel. You never had we used to do Whirlwind. We did Whirlwind today for old time's sake, but like, there was we used to use the sharpshooter specialization on Razorback. We don't do that anymore. There's builds and stuff.
Yeah, we
So
used to smash
there's been
twists, didn't we?
changes. Yeah, there was changes and adaptations, but like they were always doable. They were always, a fun, experience to go through as a team, where things like that, things like the Woodle not working as intended things on Iron Horse just kind of, I think, bogged us down. I think we got focused on those real quick, and we went back to Dark Hours, but because it was just so much fun. It was, like I said, it was the pastime where we all met. It's where we all, grew our friendship together, etc. And I think that stuck with us for a long time.
Fair enough. Rambo, your favorite raid, and why?
I guess a lot of mine comes from the same things as Strudel, that Dark Hours is where we formed, where we got to know each other, and it was more fun. I think for me, the biggest problem with Iron Horse is a lot of people come from Dark Hours, where everyone just ran DPS. They want to do the same. Iron Horse requires a much broader spectrum of builds to be able to complete it efficiently and well. But a lot of people aren't willing to do those roles, and aren't willing to farm builds. So you get, like I said earlier, you get stuck in a raid where you go, right, I need someone to do heal, I need someone to do tank. And everyone's like, you get like a dead silent response. No one says anything. Because 2 people aren't willing, they want to just rock up and do DPS. That's what done in Dark Hours. And you can't do that in Iron Horse. You've got to, people have got to be willing to run alternative builds, And that must have made it struggle a lot. That's why a lot of people wipe, because no one's specialised in running those builds. People don't want to do it. So I think for sure, essentially, I enjoyed Dark Hours because it's what I'm most experienced at. It's just, I find it more enjoyable because it is easier by a long shot. There's no denying that. It's more fun because it's easy. Everyone likes easy. And
wasn't easy to begin with, though, Rambo.
No, it wasn't. This is true.
Nothing is so.
It wasn't easy to begin with, but yeah, it is much more of a DPS.
We've got strats now for Iron Horse to make it pretty straightforward. It's not tough.
Totally.
More time consuming. It's easier to induce a wipe by doing something stupid, and people not concentrate. Like, you can blag Dark Hours by just piss-assing around and getting through it. You can't. Yeah. You can to a certain Iron Horse, but you still got to be on it with Iron Horse. It's easy to fuck Iron Horse up if you're not concentrating, ultimately. So yeah, I think for that reason, I just prefer Dark Hours. I'm a casual player. I'm not a hardcore player. I'm not in the big round types strats and stuff. So for me, I like something that's casual and fun, and for me, that's Dark Hours. When I still do it, I don't really go on Division anymore, to be honest. But if I do, it's always the more fun thing to do for me.
So for me, like, casual and fun is not what raids should be. They should be fun, but not casual. Raids should be they should be the toughest content in any game. Look at Destiny.
These days, I want to just have a laugh. I don't want to sweat.
Yeah, that's fine. but this is the Division. These are raids. That's what raids are. Raids should be so difficult. They should, and they are. Well, Dark Hours, when it first came out, it was to a degree. But let's be honest, that is so easy. You can complete that in sub 20 minutes without any special tactics at all. Just easy, so easy. That's more like an incursion from the Division 1. A bit more, I guess. A little bit more than Stolen Signal. And that's the reason for me why Iron Horse is my favourite, because it's an actual raid. Like, I played Destiny raids with you, Strudel, and they're even more advanced. That's what raids are about. It's got to be so much teamwork involved. There's got to be more mechanics than just take this guy around in a circle and shoot him in the head. But what's the mechanics on Weasel exactly? Like, even from day one, now it's just get the guy's health bar down low, each of them, and then open it up and finish him off. It was so easy.
Everything was just a DPS check.
Yeah, Buddy and Lucy, DPS just managed. You got to keep the health bars in the same segments. Yeah, that was really difficult to figure out. Razorback, that was all right. That was all right. That took a bit of figuring out, but still quite easy. If you can kill the ads on spawn like that, that's a walk in the park. Which you can though, because the builds are so OP. Like ads don't even, there's 4 ad spawns and none of them get out of it. So it's dead easy. That's the issue with Dark Hours. Like, it's great fun. I have a lot of fun. I'm not saying I don't have fun on Dark Hours. I much prefer playing Dark Hours as well. I do prefer it because it's done in 20 minutes. Job done. Can do 10 of them in a few hours quite easily. But as in like favorite raid, gotta be Iron Horse, because that's actually a raid. And even comparing it to Destiny, I'd say it wasn't a raid. Like, it's still quite simple. But it has a lot more mechanics. Like Rambo said, a lot more can go wrong. You do need to be a little bit on it. There's so many wipe mechanics,
Yeah.
And
to me, not to interrupt, but like in the Destiny raid, there are so many wipe mechanics. There's wipe mechanic on top of wipe, but the fights aren't as punishing when you wipe. Right? To me, a Digivision, especially in Iron Horse, like you wipe on that final section of Morozova. It's hits you right in the soul. It's punishing.
Oh, it is.
It hurts. It hurts. There's obviously like on Deepstone Crypt or whatever. You wipe on the final stand. It hurts, right? But like I can get right back in there and I can get to that final stand very quickly. Not very quickly, but I can get there efficiently and I can do it. Right? With I just feel like Iron Horse is so punishing. Like it hurts in your soul. Maybe that's what makes it a good raid, right? But hurts your soul. I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know, maybe different experiences as well. I don't know, like like different, like Iron Horse definitely, like you said, Strudel, has got issues, hasn't it? Like that mortar thing at the end should not be the case. That's 100%. What's soul destroying for me is that you are on the final phase of Morozova and the rocket doesn't spawn, and you've got to wipe because they haven't spawned in a rocket. It's like, thank you, game, thank you. It is so like the bugs are annoying, but still for me, like it's an actual, it's what a raid should be. I don't think Dark Hours is. And moving on to like I don't know, it's a beefed up incursion, like a stolen signal from Division 1. Like it's that felt more difficult. But it's I love Dark Hours. I just think Iron Horse is more raid. But we'll move on. That's all our favourite raids. But it moves on to another good question. This was just on the tip of my tongue and now I've lost it. Let me find it. Yeah, if we do get another raid, what would you like to see in it? And this is from Herbie as well. And we'll start with you again, Strudel.
Herbie had some good ones. So I thought about this one. If we get another raid, I want to see all of the enemies together in some form. I don't want it to be go in and we're going to fight Black Tusk, right? We get that in, it's probably a long shot, right? Because we get it in Destiny 2 where you just go in, you kind of just fight one enemy. And maybe that's like a coding thing I don't understand. But like, I would love the final boss, right? Not only are you fighting hyenas, but you're fighting, I don't even know, LMB at the same time, or you're fighting whoever, I don't know. You could be fighting Black Tusk or White Tusk or whatever. That'd be so cool because they all bring their very unique fighting style, right? There's been plenty of videos done on different fighting styles behind each enemy type. So like if you're fighting hyenas, they're much more disorganized, right? They're going to charge you. They're going to, just kind of come out of cover, where Black Tusk is going to play from cover and use tactics, and the rushers are the drones instead. It'd be so cool if you're fighting multiple enemies at once. So you have to adapt on the fly. That'd be huge, and I think that would bring a whole new level. I mean, because you have eight people, it'd be a whole new level of build prioritization and things like that to happen, because you have to prepare for different forms of play style coming from your enemy, right? If you have Black Tusk fighting from cover and they're sending those drones at you every 5 seconds, right? And then you have a hyena pushing you, sidearming the thing
I
at
like
you as
that.
he's coming at you, right? That'd be wicked hard. I could see that being very hard, very difficult. You'd have to throw a turret out there to cover the hyena, and then, maybe have seekers to pop the guy out of cover or whatever it might be. I don't know. Like, there are so many tech gadgets in Division that I feel like are underutilized, right? I mean, in Division 1, everyone loved the secret the not the secret bomb, but the sticky bomb,
Sticky bomb.
and then the seeker mines, right?
Mhm.
Everyone loved them. They get barely used. I mean, there's builds you can use them with. You do a skill build or whatever. You can make them usable, but right, it'd be so cool to see some more of these things coming into the raid. Where I think even with Iron Horse and Dark Hours, the same tech is being used in both of them. Yeah,
I like
that's what I
that.
like to see.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna use that in my answer in a minute. Some of that, because that's real. Yeah, let's just have one blooming faction. That would add a lot of you wouldn't know what was coming. You wouldn't know what was coming.
We've been hunting these factions down for whatever 3 years now, right? So they are so desperate now that they've teamed up. Yeah, that could be the story behind it.
They did it on Division 1.
They are, they are
West
so
IPS.
desperate now they've had to team up. Yep. And now they're teamed up. The Black Tusk have recruited the hyenas, and they gave them all the weapons anyways, right? So, I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Rambo, what about you? What would you like to see if there was another raid?
I don't know.
You don't think there's gonna be one, because that's why. But if there was, let's say there's a raid coming, they announce tomorrow, third raid's on the way, and that's all they said. What would you want?
Perfect world.
Like Nick said, I think I should have said. I think having multiple different factions would bring a different dimension that we've not seen before, and obviously a brand new location. I think I'd like to see it land somewhere between the two that we've already got. So there's a fair amount of DPS, because I think that's more enjoyable. But I think there needs to be some bit more mechanics in Dark Hours. Probably not quite as punishing as Iron Horse is. So somewhere.
What location, Rambo? Where would you like us to go?
London, bruh.
London. So we're going straight.
Raid.
We're going from everything we all got to get on a C-130 and go over there. Is what you're saying? That's what we have to
do it.
Fuck waiting for a sequel like the Division 3 in London and do it then.
Right,
do it now.
Right.
Just have a third raid in London.
It could be a tie-in for Division 3, right?
It could.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
If you have to land
That's a long trip.
Someone can clear someone out of there first to allow you to land the division.
A long trip. It would be cool if you parachuted in in Warzone. That was the entrance they did. Oh, that'd be sweet.
That'd be sweet. Yeah.
The raid is clear. The raid is cleared a landing area for the division to land in the country and start up operations.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
I would love it to be in rural somewhere, kind of like how Camp White Oak is, where it's you kind of go through the woods or whatever, and then you get up to this compound. That'd be sweet too. I think they got to be hiding somewhere. They're not hiding in a city, so I would like to see it. Kind of.
So I know what the third raid's going to be, so we're going to reveal it now. What's going to happen is we're all going to parachute in from helicopters. We're going to fly over from DC.
Spoiler alert.
We're going to jump into Riker Island in New York. Right? We're going to land at the prison where the Rikers did vacate a long time ago. But they came back, and they came back with different factions because they knew they were shit. So they came back with cleaners. They found Black Tusk. Also, you got the hyenas, you got all the factions there, They're all working together because they've decided that since Aaron Keener's dead, they did, and everything else has gone on, They just need to work together, and they got a boss, like they got a leader which is called a hunter. The hunter's kind of there as well, and yeah, let's go to Rikers Island prison, and we're gonna have to go and we're gonna have to take it because they're creating something that's just gonna destroy America. I don't know, something like that. But seriously, I'd love it. I think people have been discussing Rikers Island because there was rumors on the Division 1 that said Rikers Island raid was going to be a thing, but raids never came to the Division 1. So that conversation recently really did spark some interest in me. I think it was Captain who originally brought it to me. So what do you think about a raid of Rikers Island? Some good backstory there as well. But I'd love to see what you said, Strudel. Different factions. So you know, when you first do it, that would be a struggle in itself. They did it in Westside Piers on the Division 1. You wouldn't know what was coming at you in each room. And
they could randomize it too, so not every time you went to the same.
Yeah,
raid.
Like that would be really
cool.
good. That would be really cool. But I would like to see it as mechanical. It needs a mixture of, you know, it needs Dark Hours in, it needs Iron Horse in. No, it's got to be a raid. I wouldn't want to see another Dark Hours. I'd want to see a more Iron Horse over a Dark Hours, but a mixture of both. Mechanics. I'm guessing it'd be 4 bosses again, but let's see the hunters, you know, as well. I want to see the hunters. Let's have a hunter raid too. Let's just throw every faction and the hunters in it. Let's just go all out. I'd love it, but I don't know. I think there's definitely going to be a third raid.
They randomized the skyscraper. Why can't we randomize everything else, right?
Maybe. Definitely. So that's what we think about our question, Herbie. If we get another raid. Herbie asked so many good questions. We're gonna finish on one more with Herbie. I say finish, we've got more to come, but the last one from Herbie, and it's around raid teams, which I thought was a good question. Finally, you build a team, but you have, say, 10 agents ready to go, because we all make raid teams that are over 8 people. How do you decide who plays and who doesn't? Which is a very good question. And we'll start with Rambo this time.
I actually have this.
Go on.
Rambo,
no, go for it. I'm switching it up. If you're ready.
Rambo's first.
No, you're ready to go. Go, Strudel. You got it.
So I actually have this on Destiny now, right? My core team is 9 or 10, right? 9. I think it's 9. And there's only 6 in a Destiny raid. So essentially what I do is I try to, anybody that, there's no sharing of loot or anything like that in Destiny. So there's a few of us that have gotten the exotic and a few of us like myself, 50 raids or whatever in, still haven't got it. So we prioritize people that still need the exotic. And then I try to make sure we're running most of the time 4 nights a week. So everybody can at least get in twice. That's what I try to do. And then if we want to sit up or the guys want to sit up more, that's totally up to them. So the first one's kind of like first night's always like a first come first serve. Just get in and because there's also great loot, in the raid as well. So first come first serve, and then the following 3 nights after that, it's who still needs the exotic, who didn't run last night, who still needs to run, etc. We try to do it out that way so that it's fair. But again, I have one shot. I have CK. I have Swag. Cam and Guapo and all. But those 4 people, right? We've been raiding together since Dark Hours Division 1, right? So we know each other very well. We know, again, we've played with each other so much that it truly is a team environment, right? If someone says, "Oh no, you take my spot, you don't have it yet." Right? Again, going back to that personality thing. If someone takes it and then they realize that so and so hasn't run this week, or so I've run twice, but you haven't, or whatever, there's that camaraderie, there's that understanding, there's that teamwork aspect. So a lot of times it solves itself. But I do try to prioritize people that don't have the exotic or people that haven't run that week yet.
Okay. Good answer, Rambo.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to that. I think like similar thing. Like when I used to do mine, it was like first come first serve, and when I put a post out, I need like 7 for tonight. Let me know if you're available. It might not seem fair,
Mm.
but to me, it's the only really fair way of doing it. Like, you can't pick and choose. You've got that team there, down to them to respond. But like Strudel said, there's a respect and camaraderie between the team, and if someone's running all the time, you expect them to drop out every now and again, let someone else have a go. You don't have to enforce this sort of stuff. If you've got the right blend of mixture of people, they'll work together. They won't try and one up each other and just always be selfish.
Exactly.
If they do try and do that, they shouldn't be there if that's their game.
Yeah. If you're not willing to help the team in a greater good scenario, like, you don't have the exotic and I do or whatever, then
Yeah.
there's probably a dynamic issue that needs to be addressed soon.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was going to move on to from you guys. Exactly what you said. Like, most teams understand. This is why you need a leader as well. Like I said earlier, you should really have a team leader because they've got to make decisions like this. Otherwise, it can get a little bit messy. And some people will test you, Some people will expect to be in. And sometimes you can't put them in. And it's how they react to that. If you've got someone reacting obviously, there's nothing wrong being a bit disappointed. I wanted to play tonight. I can't. You're going to be disappointed, and disappointment's fine. But if you're going to have someone that then makes your life hard and challenges you because you've dropped them, well, you need to remove them from your team. As far as I'm concerned.
Well, I just did it. We just did Rambo's FTC for VOG not too long ago, and I had a team put together, and Rambo asked if someone could be a part of it. And I said, yeah. And I just asked one of our members, hey, would you mind stepping out so this person can get in? And they're like, yeah, of course. It's it's their FTC. If they want that person in, they should be allowed. It didn't need to become an awkward situation. Everybody understood, and everybody, and we moved on. And that person had already raided a few times that week, anyways. So, like you said,
I think that's something I mentioned earlier about not having egos in the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
totally.
It's how it's got to be. Like, I have a big team. This is the problem as well. Is like consistency with me, especially with my streams. I want to try and flawless every raid that I do. Consistency is so important. I use the same people a lot as well. So I have members of my team that rarely get in, and I try to filter them in now and then. But at the same time, they're really understanding that they take it when they don't give me no grief at all, and they take the chance when it comes up. And my schedule changes sometimes. And what's more important as well, I think, is having that wider, like we mentioned earlier in this chat, the wider community. Like, we got the TCT team. Like, they might be part of my team, but these guys and girls are also running in other raid teams as well. They're filling in, or they're part of other teams. They're not just relying on jumping in with me. And that's what makes it so easy for us, I think, because we do get very little arguments or anything. It's an easy decision. I never struggle picking my team every Tuesday, is what I'm going to say, And if anyone wants to make that a struggle for me, like in the old days, well, they know where to go. Like the old people
There's
did.
the door.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I said, I don't mind disappointment. Disappointment's fine, but actually challenging someone, people shouldn't do that. And if they're doing that to you, don't accept it. So we're going to take a question from chat, because we've just been doing supporter questions for now. Very quickly, what does it take to be a good healer in the raids? From Recon. I'm going to go with Kedri's answer there. Recon, a good healer is someone who remembers the Crucible. Great answer, Kedri. Thank you for having my back. Another question there. Joker became a supporter through this as well. Thank you, Joker. You can, next in 2 weeks' time, if you join our supporter server, you can get involved in the priority questions for these. We had some question. I should have highlighted it. Okay, so it was Anthony Scales. How would people be able to join into your teams during streams, or do you randomly pick someone? So I can answer this. During streams, I pull from stream all the time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you can jump in stream and I'll randomly pick you. I kind of prioritize people. If I see your name there and your name's been there watching me for weeks on end, well, I'm going to prioritize you. If I've never seen your name before, I'm probably going to pick someone over you. So, I'm kind of rewarding the people to watch my live streams. And obviously, if your name's green and you're a supporter and you haven't done a raid, well, and you're there, I'm going to get you into. So I do prioritize in my streams. It's so I'd never advise anybody to try and get in a raid run by watching someone streaming, because like we have like 100 people watching us sometimes. It's like so many people wanting raid runs. Just join our community. That's the best way to do it, you know?
Yeah, I can't be doing that. I used to stream like twice a week on TSW. I used to set my all set up beforehand. I used to ping in the Discord chat in the morning for the raids that evening, or maybe sometimes the night before, and get it all set up so I can get people in, bish, bash, bosh, turn around, done.
Yeah,
I don't want to be hanging around for like 20 minutes between runs, waiting for someone to load in and get ready and what have you.
that's why you set up the first run, Rambo. And then you pull in someone after that. But anyway, that's what I do. I pull from streams. Rambo's right. It's a pain in the ass pulling from streams. It is a pain in the ass pulling from streams. But like when you're growing a YouTube channel and you want to do engagements, it's really good. Yes. So yeah. So anyway, your best bet is to go into the community, like Rambo just said, because that's where most other teams pick people up. You should be looking at LFG channels and just looking for your opportunity. Loads of people wanting raids, but if you've got notifications you can turn on when raid teams post and stuff, you know, so you can be pinged on your phone when this team's about to take someone through. You can make it easier for yourself, and patience is everything.
Like, do a bit of research, get a build. Don't rock up expect to have like some little put together build that doesn't make the requirements for what's needed. You know, do some research, find out what's needed for a run, what people are expecting you to have, and get a build together. Because like, a qualified team will be able to carry most builds, particularly through dark hours. But a lot of team people like to have a certain FT to have a certain type of build ready to make the right contribution to the team.
It depends on the team. I just want to stress that. Like I've taken through partly blind people, deaf people, autistic people that just can't read. You know, like I set up to be able to take anybody. But yeah, loads of teams for inclusion. But if you're if you're able, you should definitely be setting up builds and actually trying. That helps a lot as well. Teams also, do ask for 50%. Was it 50%? I don't even know because I don't ask. I take people with 6-piece gear sets through. I take people with grey gear through. Like I'll take anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's not just about like, oh, we can get you through. It's also about their enjoyment of it. If they haven't got a build that's right for the raid, they're not going to enjoy their run because they're not actually making much of a contribution. If they're just getting dragged through it backwards without really knowing what the hell's going on, that's not an enjoyable experience for them.
No, it's not.
They've got to understand what they're doing and how if they're contributing to the team's effort. And to do that, they need the right sort of build, really.
Yeah.
That's their choice.
I've never asked for people, like, we'll make small little suggestions. You know, like today, the guy we took through, like, he was using the backfire, and I was just like, hey, you just want to use a different gun, you know? But, like, we've never prioritized, like, how crit hit chance or crit hit damage. But, like, on Destiny, when you only have 6 people, everyone has to do a mechanic. Yeah, so it's like it's much different. Like, you know, I'm always willing to help people get this gun or get that gun, or like, hey, make sure your resilience is over 50%, you know, because going back to what Rambo was saying, if you're under 50, probably gonna die really quick. And it's not, you know, if you're constantly dying and not help, you know, it is, I can see where it could be an unenjoyable, is that a word, experience for that person. So I've never done on Division because I think, you know, there's just, you know, it's 8 people, but like with the Destiny raids, there is a lot of mechanics and you have to participate. Like there's, you know, Destiny does a really great job of not only making sure that everyone has a role, but also making it so that not one person can sort of command the battlefield, right? Even if you're the leader of the team, they do a really good job of splitting the team up. And like for VOG, for instance, you get teleported in, right? I can't see what's going on over there. I couldn't tell you. You know, I mean, once you do a few raids, you'll know kind of like, okay, this probably happened, right? But like, yeah, you definitely like. I can see for some teams and whatnot where having a 50% crit or 50 or whatever, what is it, 50% crit and 100% damage or I don't know, but you know where that could be helpful,
I
think for their
ultimately with Division, like, which it doesn't make too much sense, but ultimately, if they can kill stuff, if it works for them, then it's fine. Like, I don't care what you bring as long as you do the job I'm asking you to do.
Yep. We took a guy through with purple gear, and we were like, you know, we were worried about his enjoyment of the raid. Like, there's no doubt. Like, hey, do you have any different gear? He's like, trust me, I got this. And we're like, okay, let's go.
I
And
took
he
a
did great.
guy through with the
He
great
had
gear
it.
you start with, and we flawless both raids
Yep, I
nearly.
remember that.
Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had one error on the last one, which was unfortunate, but yeah, that's where Destiny wins again with the raids. Is what we are saying before. Like Destiny's actually raids the division, even with Iron Horse being a little bit more tough. You can 5 or 6 man that. You can definitely 5-man Dark Hours. You can probably 4-man Dark Hours. But Iron Horse, like you don't even need 8 people. You can do it with 7 very easily and flawless. And that's why I never ask what builds they have. If they are the sort of person that is invested, I can tell they're invested. I notice that, and I will push that. I'll try and run with them again. It's how you make raid teams. You know, you notice those people. If someone's just there because they just want the Eagle Bearer or they just want the Ravenous, and then they're never going to bother the community again, well, I ain't going to invest that much time with that person explaining much because I'm never going to talk to him again. I can tell that as well, you know. Whereas Destiny, you can't do that. To do raids on Destiny, as I found when I ran with you, you've got to invest some time into it. You've got to roll. You needed me to do that role.
Oh, yeah.
Division doesn't have that. I can quite simply put you somewhere and just say shoot that quite easily, or you don't need to do nothing on half of it. Like Dark Hours, they don't need to do nothing. Iron Horse, practically they don't need to do nothing, and it's not, and that's where I think where the raids lack on a division. I think they need to be more raidy. Everyone should have a purpose, whereas they don't.
Totally.
Which enables us to help more people, which is good. Question in chat: what's a standard raid DPS build? It's been answered, but I'll just read it out anyway. Like Boom says, some teams ask for 50 crit chance, 150 crit damage, unbreakable chest, and vigilance backpack. But like Strudel and Rambo said, as long as you're killing things, it really doesn't matter what the build is. I had some of a sniper build in. Stream chat was saying, "Oh, this is going to be interesting." He absolutely smashed it. He did better than other people that I've ran with on ads. He's a sniper, so he used the build well and he killed stuff. So all that matters is that you can kill stuff and perform tasks. It doesn't really matter what build you have as long as you're comfortable with it and it works, right?
My build on the Xbox doesn't meet those specifications, and we can raid just fine. Sometimes my build on PlayStation doesn't meet those specifications. I think they're really high. They're really high specifications for.
Oh, they are. Like I don't personally. I don't give 50, 150 for me. I've never gave a spec. When I look at someone's build when they jump in, once those 6 green pieces, I question that. The guy was autistic, so that was fine and no problem at all. Totally. I will look if there's anything, like you said, Strudel, there's anything I can critique or advise on, I will. But I'll never. It doesn't I won't turn any. It doesn't matter. It depends. No. I don't know. Like gaming, I don't know that person behind that screen name, And if I see a build that I think's absolute trash and there's something wrong, what am I seriously going to fix there? Which is why people probably put these specifications in. 50, 150. At least they don't need to worry about that. But how I've set up my strategies enables me to not worry about it, I guess. Teams are doing far more advanced strats where they probably do rely more on the person, Because each to their own. Mm-hmm. But it definitely helps if you can make a build, and there's plenty of videos out there to help you. And if you struggle with stuff like that, there's teams that can still help you for sure. What does RNG stand for? Does anyone actually know what that stand? I know what it means, but what does RNG stand for? That was asked by somebody.
Yeah, random number generator. Yeah.
That's spelled Wi-Fi. Random number generator is what it means. Glass Cannon Rocks, it sure does. We're going to go on to the last few questions. I think I covered everything in the chat there. We got a few more supporter questions, though. So we only covered Herbie's up to now. I think King Clown asks a good question. What do you look for in an individual before bringing them into your team? So, Strudel.
Personality. Just personality.
They've got to fit with.
Can I have fun with? Yeah, can I have fun with them?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's do it.
Same thing, because anyone can then put together a build and be taught stuff. You've got
like I said, you should be. Yeah, you should. Once they're part of the team, you should be helping them get their build up, helping them understand what's going on. Helping. I mean, we just added a few new players to the PlayStation Destiny, and And it wasn't about if they knew the raid or not. It was about, are they available? Do they want to play? And can we get along with them? We answered those 3 questions, and they were all yes, and we run with them all the time.
The rest of it can be worked on, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think obviously, like, if you've gotten to that point where you're thinking about including them in the team, you've obviously seen a level of dedication in their gameplay and their strive, I guess. So that's been answered, right? That's been answered, right? Like you were saying earlier, you run with the people that are just there for the FTC or the exotic or whatever, right? You know them. They're gonna go away very quickly.
Well, that's the thing. And someone just said in chat, if you're assigned a job in the raid on certain bosses and explained properly, it's dead easy to do the task in hand. Good players like Rambo are very talkative and help you when doing the raids. And that's 100% right. Like I took 7 FTCs through as a challenge and spent time with every one of them. They all wanted to do this raid for the first time, explained everything they were doing. It took loads of time. We did it in 3 hours, surprisingly. But it takes a lot of time. When you get those people, and this is the thing, when you help thousands of people like we do, and hundreds of people, and you get those people just do not give a shit, you're not going to spend that time explaining to them. Because I'm not.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm just not.
Back in the day, I did those clinics, right? I mean, again, it took 6 FTCs, or just one of them, or just one. They had one clear. Took them through. It took us a while. It took us a long time, but we got it done. And then, they built their own team. One shot started going out and being that leader and grouping all these people I was taking through the clinics. He made a team out of them all, and worked it out. But like, yeah, it's like you said about or whoever said it in chat. If you can describe what's going on and give them proper instruction on how to be successful, then most likely you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, it's not that easy. I disagree. It's that easy. You've got to get a feel for it. You got to I can tell you how to drive. It doesn't mean you're going to go and drive competently right after. You've got to get a feel for it. You got to practice. Gaming's a lot more easy than driving. Like it doesn't take too much time. But it's that. Like you can't just tell someone what to do and they do it. Like I wrote a whole document on Iron Horse. We were the first team to complete it. I stayed up all night to write all what we learned out and sent it to people. And people were still struggling. Like they're reading what I told them to do, but they still had to practice it. They still had to do it. They still had to find their way to do it because everybody's different. And that's something you need to understand as well. And that goes into King Clown's question of what you look for in an individual before bringing in your team. Everyone is different, and that person's got to sync with you. If they don't sync with you and you're the team leader, then they shouldn't be in your team. It's not fair on them or you. You've got to enjoy playing with each other. And, you've just got to match, haven't you, with your team? We're all human. We're all different. There's some people that we just don't match with. And you've got to make that decision. And personality is key. And that personality can't clash with yours, right? Anything else on that?
No, not for me.
Next question. We'll probably make this. How long have we been going?
A long time. Yeah,
no idea.
Too long.
Let me quickly check. I'm on. Okay. Everything going good. An hour and a half. So we'll make this the last question and quickly look in the chat, make sure I've not missed anything. Why Not Beast said, I know I got a question in support of chat, but I had one for Strudel. What was it a struggle to make your core team? And how do you overcome it when you're having issues finding people to join it?
On Destiny?
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
Well, so Destiny was a lot of, I obviously went back to the game very late. GameSwag was who I raided with Destiny many times. He was playing, grinding for a whole season before I joined. He was constantly trying to get me to go over, and I finally caved, right? And started really enjoying it, and then just started pestering people like he was doing to me, like, hey, you want to play Destiny? Like just constantly, right? I mean, constantly just trying to. and CK came over and then One Shot and TJ was there for a while, and and then Swago had been playing with Guapo forever, both on Division and on Destiny, and Kane's daughter was there, and so it was once I got going, got my character up to level, I wanted to raid. There was no doubt about it, but there was really no raids being done in TSW yet. So it was about we had a great guy named Pumpkin Washer who is not in the clan anymore, but he went to join his friends in another clan, which is fine, real life friends, but it's fine. I still talk to him, and he did a fantastic job of taking with a friend of his, taking four of us through our first deep stone. He was our Sherpa, he was our clinic guy, right? And he took us through. And huge prop to him because he was that explainer. He did a great job of it. And there was wipes, there was a lot of struggles. But then, so we had four of us, right? But we needed two more. Then, let's get these people in. And then so we had the four, found a couple more. Pumpkin was still running with us, which was super helpful in the beginning, kind of correcting our errors. But a lot of me and him talking as well. Hey, this is happening. How do we fix it? What's the problem here? I didn't understand the game
Mm.
as well as I do now, and I'm still learning. But that's the same for Division too. I mean, when we started as a team, as Raid Team 3 in Division, we had a mix of UK and US people. People
Mm.
wanted to raid more than one day a week, and obviously the only days we could get together was on the weekends. So I had set up weekday raids on an opposite day of Rambo's team, so that we had four people or whatever from my team, and it's like, hey, can we grab four people from raid team 2 and make a team, right? And that's kind of what we did for a while, and then but went out, started a huge recruitment, and it was the same thing, right? I played with people. I was pulling people in that I had played Division with through TSW and whatnot. And but I really enjoying playing with this people. So like people like Denise started coming in, DMHO, right? She came
Mm-hmm.
in. She was quickly joined the team soon after. So that's another UK person. So now we're up to 5, right? And um, Sean Penfold was part of the team at the beginning, right? So he was obviously playing a lot with Rambo, so that was an easy mesh, right, to get them
Mm.
together. But then people like Jump wasn't on the team, but I had been playing with him and brought him in on a few raids, and I was taking people from my clan because again I wasn't TSW yet, so or I was once I joined the raid team, but like we were kind of still in transition, so
Mm.
I was pulling people that I had been playing with in my original clan that weren't part of the raid team, Consult and Hansolk and all these other people that I enjoyed playing with. I knew they would mesh with the people that were on the team, and we started like a big recruitment. And that's when recruitment really started to ramp up through conversations with UG. It's like I need
Mm-hmm.
more people. I don't have enough people to fill teams because of the time differences, right? C Group and American Badass and then we started doing these clinics, and then I found more people. One Shot, Raider, Father Time. He's an OG from back in the day. I remember doing Father Time's, FTC, back in
Mm.
the day. But like, um, who else was in those clinics?
You
I
took
don't know. It's been
loads.
so
I
long.
used to love watching it.
So,
I miss them.
but like, so these people that were in these clinics, that was part of the recruitment thing. Was like, let's teach them the ways, right? Teach them how to raid, and then get them into
Mm.
teams. And then they wanted to raid more than the 1 or 2 days I could supply to them, so they started making their own team, and that's how like it wasn't called TCT back then; it was called raid team. So
Mm.
that's how these raid teams begin. So bringing these people in, when we would get together as like our core raid team 3 group, there was a lot of meshing, there was a lot of fun, and when we started bringing in the other people, they were definitely adapting. We found people's strengths in working to them, and then it was kind of like a whole new learning experience. We'd had 4 or 5 people from the original team, but we needed whatever 4 or whatever people to come in and join us. So there was a lot of teaching, a lot of coaching, a lot of helping, a lot, to get up the team. So, and that was the same for Destiny. It doesn't matter where you're creating a raid team, there has to be support for
Mm.
the people coming in. There has to be support. You have to be, like we said earlier, playing outside the game, helping people farm, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Like we have our own chat, both for Division and for Destiny, and there's constant communication in there. There's a lot of communication I wish that I could just push into the community channels, and I try to share that, but it's communication. We're trying to make people better. We're trying to help. We're trying to help people understand the game. It's making a switch from Division to Destiny is a big leap. There's a lot of content, a lot of understanding. So again, just support.
Definitely. Just to echo what you said, because Larry's asked a question which is similar to what you're just going on about. How do you get started with raids when you've only tried Discovery? It's my clan abandoned Div 2. He's never done a raid before. You've got to learn. You've got to learn, and you've got to be prepared to learn. You've got to find people that want to learn with you. Once you've got a group of 6-7 people, and you learn, and you then got the 8 to do it. It's just learning. It's getting it down. It's advancing on that. It's rough. It's not easy. We spoke about that earlier, didn't we? It's not easy, at all. Do you want to add anything, Rambo?
No, not really, mate. I think that's kind of covered it all. I think
you did, Strudel. Great. Yeah, you answered it. I think Why Not Beast was more Division 2 than Destiny. I think that covered your question anyway. But I've got one more question for you two. I'm just going to very quickly knock off some here, though. There was, one, why is there no stash with hardcore agents? There just isn't. You're hardcore. Basically, you have what's on you. Once you die, you die. And, you just don't have a stash with hardcore. You've only got your backpack. So the final question for tonight's Let's Talk, guys. And we'll stick it with you, Strudel, to go first, as we've done it all the way through. What is your favourite moments from all the raids you've done from Spud? Tough question.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, right? I thought I'd say this one to last. I know mine.
Oh, God. I don't know. The zapping of G 6 or 7, 8 times lately, that's got to be up there. In Iron Horse, that was good. That was a good time. I enjoyed that. I don't know though. I mean, I don't know if I can pick out, and Spud's not gonna be happy with this answer, but I don't know if I can pick out one particular answer because there's so many good, moments, right? Funny moments, things that, whatever, just goofing off and having a good time that just make you laugh, right? I mean, today there was plenty of those moments happening today. Talking about TJ's pork butt. It was great. It was a good time. You can see where that conversation is going. I won't give you anything more than that. So like, there's just such a good friendship community, right? But dropping EBs for people and getting those reactions is huge. It's what kept us going early on. And those are huge. Someone getting an EB on their first FTC, that's crazy. That's still got to be up there. But or like, a member, I don't know who, someone's been running the raid, the division or Destiny for how many ever tries and haven't gotten it yet, and then all of a sudden they get it, and that's just huge. It's like I said, it's what keeps you going. Are those interactions? So I don't know if I can pick out one particular incident that was like the best, but just that friendship, that bonding, whether it's zapping G repeatedly with the door guys, or it's Teddy just being Teddy, and just having a good time. It's good. Yeah, dropping EBs for people. I think the culmination of everything together is what makes the raid team. The culmination of is what makes raid teams special and what builds that friendship. So,
do you have a favorite moment, Rambo?
I don't know. I've got fucking 500 Dark Hours clears. It's hard to pick, I guess. I think for me, it'll always be those early days. I think when the raid team was quite a small thing, pretty much exclusive to PlayStation, and those Friday night just pissing around, people drinking, music playing, just having a laugh with friends. Those early days of meeting people, I think. I don't think it ever got much better than that. I just really enjoyed that time. And that's all with me, because so for me, it's all about helping people is great. I love it. But for me, it's about having fun with friends, and it's just jumping in people, having a laugh, and just chilling. I don't want drama. I don't want egos in there. I want people just to have a good time and have a laugh. I mean, any time a raid is a good laugh. I come out of it, laugh my head off the whole thing. I've had a good time with friends. If you hear me singing, you know it's going to be a good raid.
Oh yeah, acapella with Rambo, classic.
Me and Strudel are like the kings of duets.
Yeah. Touch on both. I don't think you can pick one moment, Spud, when you've done so many raids. Like Time of Penny on a 24-hour stream, top of the stairway before Buddy and Lucy. That was funny as fuck. That was. Laughed a lot. I think the friends I made through raiding. That's I think there's definitely things that stand out. I won't be able to pick one. I think going on what we were talking about before, like teams have requirements and that, but once this guy, I think he was in his 60s, he came in, he's been thrown out of raids before. He plays the game to his own standard. His build wasn't the best. It's an older guy. We were dead patient with him. It took us like an hour to 2 hours to complete the raid. But it was fine because, we played to hit his level and what he needed a lot us to be very patient. And his reaction at the end was insane. It was like one of the best things ever. Like he was so pleased that someone actually had the patience for him, and he pulled his own Eagle Bear. We then took him through Iron Horse and he pulled his own Ravenous back to back. It was insane. I don't know. It was just an older chap. He was just great. It was awesome. There's moments like that come up. It's what the community is about, And I couldn't pick one moment myself. There's loads of moments. It's just there's tons. They're my favourite few that I've mentioned, but I'm probably missing loads as well because we've done what? Between all three of us, we've probably done a fair few thousand raids, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I lost count.
Okay.
No worries. We're ending it there, anyway, Rambo. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, guys. Nice to chat to you again. It's been a while.
All right, man. We'll see you soon. And we are gonna end it there. Stream. You up, bro?
I'm really sorry to bail out, but I really got that.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, we're gonna end it there. Stream. It's been fun. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for your questions. If we didn't answer them, I'm sorry, but we answered loads. Thank you for joining us, Strudel. Is there anything you want to say before we end this? Is there anything you want to add? Apart from this t-shirt I'm wearing, Strudel sent me. We're wearing the same one. TSW Agent Strudel. And I got founder on mine, and I found the GCROCK. Thank you for the t-shirt, Strudel. You had to tell me to put it on before we started.
Can you believe that, chat? Can you believe that?
I know. That's so shit. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Strudel's going to join us again sometime. I got an idea of another Let's Talk I want to do with Strudel.
Let's do it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun.
It is going to be fun. This one was very fun. And again, guys, don't forget, if you got questions you want to ask in the supporter server, we're there, or in the main community, there's loads of people there. We can answer them there. We'll be back in 2 weeks for the next Let's Talk. We got PG tips coming up soon. And yeah, if you are listening to this through the podcast, you have no idea who we are, which would be quite worrying at this point. Do search GCROCK on Discord and YouTube and you'll find us. This is going to be going live on our podcast tomorrow. But thank you for watching, for the people live and listening. Peace out. I'm just muting.